Valley Club. Another free promo code is live. How good are the free goodies for this one? Dark Dimension 8 is live next week. Blade Diamonds will be part of the rewards. How difficult is it going to be to actually enter the mode though? And a slower character release cadence was announced last week. And now that some of the dust has settled from the community, how bad is this going to be really? We're discussing all of these topics and more in this edition of your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. Joining me this week, literally from inside a potato, is one of the newest envoys, Dacier. And if you're ready for all of these topics and more, then brother Dacier, let them know what to do.
Let's go smash it.
And welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin. This is Dacier, and this is your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. We do this every single week, keeping you up to date on everything that has happened and is upcoming in Marvel Strike Force. And if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button for more Marvel Strike Force content, a minimum of 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week on the channel, usually more news videos like this, question and answer videos, update videos, everything to help your experience in Marvel Strike Force. But how has your experience been so far in Marvel Strike Force? One of the newest envoys. How has your experience in Marvel Strike Force been, brother Dacier?
So I've been playing for quite some time. We're in the same arena shard and everything, so I'm kind of like in that like soft launch. I took a little break, came back. That was maybe like back when like Doc Ock came out, but I'm still enjoying the game. I know there's a lot of issues going on right now, but I'm more confident, I guess you can say. I know there's a lot of cool, fun things on the way, so I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool things on the way, and there's a lot of things that are giving the community some hesitation of what is upcoming. And before we get to all that stuff, I do want to make a big apology for my video yesterday about this Annihilator's Assembly event. I was confused about it. I thought that the points for the Sentinel strike, because they are the milestone points, lead into this. That did not happen. Now, what is going to lead into it is things like this: purchasable milestone points, free milestone points that you get. And if we look at what it said in the blog post, I'm not sure, maybe I was the only one confused about this. Maybe I'm just a dumb one. I don't know if you got confused about this as well. It says Annihilator's Assembly, daily free claims on the web. Now we have those free claims in the store, but I also thought it was the milestone points as well. I know it doesn't specifically say milestone points here, but I thought it was like that. And then promo code, which we do have for you. We're gonna share that. Am I just stupid, or were you also confused, Dacier?
I was confused too. I had people asking in my Discord channel also, like, how does this work? I'm like, I honestly don't know. It's one of those like convoluted things where you have like this leads into this, leads into this, leads into this. So it's confusing.
I guess I don't feel as bad as I did yesterday when I noticed I made the error. Apologies, and I hope it didn't cause anybody any confusion in the milestones for this event, but it is still bad. Apologize. I need to take more responsibility. I will do better, but let's talk about this promo code for you guys. Assemble. Have you claimed this yet?
I did, and it took me quite a few attempts.
Like 5 to 10.
It gave me quite a bit, yeah.
I think you were saying like 5 to 10 attempts before we started recording. I think my max has been 5, so I have this entered, and of course, if you want to enter this, make sure your account is linked to MarvelStrikeForce.com. Go to this new player gift section, it takes you to this. So we're gonna do this live on the news. See if I get it right away, or if it takes me 5, 6 attempts, maybe more. Let's hit this button. Do I get it? Oh, I get it right away. Okay.
Why not?
That is not the results that everybody has gotten. And guys, it is some milestone points for the Annihilators Assemble milestone points, which is kind of a whaley milestone event, let's be honest. And then you get some Thanos Annihilator orb fragments. What do you think of this free claims? Free stuff. Did you open these Thanos Annihilator orbs?
I did. So anything that gets
good?
You 10. I got one Thanos shard.
One Thanos shard. Okay. Well, we'll go open it live in the game right now. Let's see what we get. Let's go do the claim. And do we get more than one shard? Do we beat that one shard? Let's go do this live. What is your prediction, Dacier? Do I get more than one, or do I get exactly one or less?
You're gonna hit the jackpot.
Hit the jackpot. Let's get 100 here. Oh, the jackpot of 0. I did worse than you. All right.
Apparently
but that is the code, guys. Hopefully you get a lot better drop rate than I did. But all right, that's kind of a good thing. That's kind of the correction for yesterday's video. Let's talk about something that does not need correction, that has the community hot. For myself, this is not good news. We will review this stuff, but I'm kind of a wait and see. This could be very, very bad depending how they structure the events. This could be fine. This could be not too big of a change just depending how they structure the events. If they structure it like they did with Temporal Dimension and the Shadow Dimensions, requiring characters before they go through all the phases of the release event, could be very, very bad. What is your thought on this character release event when you first saw this last week, Dacier?
So when I first saw and heard about it, I was kind of thinking the worst, kind of preparing for the worst, but hoping for the best. I'm always kind of in that mindset, just kind of like get prepared for what's the worst that could come. After a couple days and kind of sleeping on it, I calmed down a little bit, just thinking about all the other games I played. So like Rage of Bahamut, Raid's Shadow Legend. So all those games had like huge gotcha mechanics in it, and really no farmability. The fact that we're keeping our farmability still intact, where you can get those characters at farmable at 4 months, unlock them at 7. So this definitely puts a huge hamper on those free-to-play and battle pass spenders. So I'm still not a fan of like what they're doing, but I really want to see if they keep making tweaks and adjusting this for the better of the community. So like start at this extreme, let's start pushing back, is what I'm hoping will happen.
Well, the good thing, they're not updating all characters, so Mythic, Epic, Legendary, they're still keeping them like that. And I guess if you're looking at the positive thing, we were talking about phase 1, there's some minimal chance of players getting a big drop rate for a single character. But to do that release after release after release, I think that chance is very, very small. Maybe like 1 out of 10 you might get a drop or a good drop rate. What do you think of this path 1? How good does it feel to get 0 Thanos shards and all those 10 orbs? How good do you like this trickle down effect before they reach 2, which I think is like the more traditional release method that we've had? They seem to be delaying that after about 30 days. Previously, what was it, about between a week and 2 weeks that we've gotten release events after their offer?
Yeah, the way I'm thinking this is going to work is after we get those character releases, how we've been having those extra shards come out in Milestones and everything, what we've been used to, I think that's going to be the phase 2 portion. So the first portion of it, phase 1, are basically these RNG orbs, which I really hate because we just saw, like, I got like 1 Thanos, you got 0. So
0, and it's called Thanos Orb.
Yeah, so if they tweak the orbs to make it to where like Gladiator when you first came out, make that 1 shard guarantee, then it goes into the Gore gets guaranteed 1, Gladiator gets 2, and kind of do it that, then Thanos gets 1, Gore gets 2, Gladiator gets 3. I think that would be a lot more tolerable. It's just they're looking at the wrong numbers. They're looking at people that spend power cores as well, when both of these teams Illuminati with Hank Pym, those were required to get Captain Britain, and you need
or the next legendary. They announced it for the next legendary. I was looking for Pym and Shuri, not necessarily for Britain. I was looking for the next legendary, which with all the shards I have, I guess I didn't need to do that quickly.
Right,
we don't even have the next legendary unlocked.
Yeah, right.
I mean, announce. Yeah, of course it's not even announced. Jeez.
Yeah, we don't even know who it is, which is crazy. It's like, okay, so when do we find out who this character is?
Yeah. So now, as far as these orbs that we're getting, right? We're getting this trickle release. I just got 10, got 0. Couldn't you have done that in 1 orb and maybe, oh, I got 1 big orb. Oh, I didn't get anything in this 1 orb. I don't know if that wouldn't feel as bad or if that would feel the same. Would that feel the same to you if you got 1 orb and didn't get it, rather than getting 10 orbs and you got nothing as well? Does the amount of orbs make a difference, or does that not make a difference at all to you?
I think it's more of a feel bad when you get more orbs because you get orange gear. Why are they giving us orange gear? We're like in crimson gear.
It's not for us. It's not for us. It's not for us. It's the catch-up mechanic for players that still need that stuff.
Maybe. I don't know what like this like new and mid player is. Like, do they struggle with orange gear?
I don't know why they would do that stuff. I don't need that.
But yeah, I think they still need to figure something out with this orbs. It's nice that Sentinel has a guaranteed 1 shard. Hopefully when the Nimrod comes out, it's going to be guaranteed 1 as well.
Yeah, we need a prediction on that. We're going to talk about Nimrod in a little bit. I want to get your prediction on what's going to happen with the release in this little bit. Now, moving on to this phase 2. This phase 1 is all these orbs and everything like that. But moving on to phase 2, I thought this was a little, the way they described it on an Envoy call that we had, I thought it was going to be a little more traditional unlocks, events that we've had. Doesn't seem like it here, though. Shards for characters of the new team will be available other ways through events. They do mention events, but battle passes, strike passes, milestones, and that's something that you highlighted here. Do you think a lot of these phase 2 shards will come through the free-to-play version of the Battle Pass, Strike Pass, through these milestones, traditional events, some combination, or it's going to be different for each character?
I think it's going to be different for each character, and the interesting thing is the Battle Pass. I had to see which pass it was. Like, that currently has an Ares in it, so are they going to start planning on having, say, like, Gladiator with Ares in the Battle Pass? And we're gonna start getting less Ares shards, so that's something that I'm kind of keeping an eye out for.
How many more Ares do we have to go? I know we've had at least one more that has to have those 100 passive abilities, the passive awakened abilities. Is that the last one, or are they gonna keep going after that? I lost count already.
It should be more, because right now I think mine is at a 5 yellow, 4 red, and I think when I finish this one, that will get me up to 6. So there's probably gonna be about 2 or 3 more. I believe. Okay. Just curious about that. All right. So yeah. So maybe doing double character release. I was just wondering if they might have Ares ending soon, and then they could do something like this for the new characters. Yeah.
But it would have to be double if that's that time frame.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see. Now, the other thing that they mentioned here, at least one character within 30 days after the character's initial launch will have like a traditional release method. I was assuming it's 1 per team. They weren't really specified on the Envoy call if it's 1 per release, 1 per team. It's not really clear here. What did you think that meant when you heard that? Is it 1 per team, 1 per release? Sometimes we get character teams split up over a couple releases, right? So what do you think this means? 1 per release, 1 per team? It's going to change like everything else does? Is this not consistent?
Subject to change. Yeah. I take it as at least one character on the team is going to have the traditional release that we're used to. Then the other 2 is going to be what we're dealing with right now, where it's the RNG orbs. The thing that I want them to start doing on this is when they do those like path 2 of such and such team, stay in there which character is going to be the event character and which 2 are not. That way we know which ones we want to push for those orbs, like using our power cores.
Good call on that one. Prediction-wise, you think normally they release like the better character at the last part of the team. So if they had 3 characters, it would be the 3rd character released, and like the not as good character is released first. Do you think that is what's actually the not as good characters released second? The good, pretty good characters released first. The best characters released third. Okay. Do you think they're going to keep that traditional release method and they're always going to have like the first one or always the last one, or is that also going to switch which character is being released through that?
So funny enough, I feel that Nimrod is the more important character over Omega Sentinel.
I thought that as well when I was reading the kits. I was surprised Omega Sentinel was the last one.
Yeah, because Nimrod, given that speed to the team with as many summons that come down with that Sentinel can bring, and we could plug in Mysterio once we get the unlock, and that's going to add more of the tech villains on the field that summon to get Nimrod that extra speed right off the bat. So that's what I plan to do. So I feel that Nimrod's more important.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm kind of whittling my way through the raids right now with the 3-piece without even Nimrod, without even Omega Sentinel. So maybe neither of them are needed if you build the rest of the team and like Kang and Penny's like super big at all. All right, so we'll see what happens with this. I'm kind of a wait-and-see approach. Like I said, this could be very, very bad depending how they structure their events. And what they did say in the call, they didn't say it here, and I think it's an important point. They did say that after they wouldn't be structuring all these events for characters that require characters until phase 2. So we should have their initial release, and I believe they said phase 2 would be over, but I'm not particularly sure on that. Is that what you remember as well, or is that something, am I remembering wrong?
Yeah, they said something like with the Shatter Dimension. That was a good example of it. How it said use the 3 Annihilators. Well, we didn't have 3 Annihilators as a free-to-play, and they want to make sure. Yeah, so they want to make sure that enough people have it to where that release method is finished. So I believe that would be like the phase 2, or maybe even after, is kind of what their goal is.
if they commit to that and don't make any changes from that, do you see any problem with what they're doing here? If the characters aren't needed right away, is that take the pay to play out and just make it kind of pay to get pre-progress, like early progress? Is that how you see it, or is it still a problem if they have structure events like that?
I feel that it's still a problem. The main reason is because of those. Like I'm a spender. Like I'll purchase those characters and everything. Yeah. I don't feel I need that big of an advantage over people that are free to play or battle pass spenders to where they don't have access to these characters like 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever day, because we don't even know how long this phase 1 and phase 2 is. So I really need like more communication as far as that goes for those people, especially with the stat bumps that these new meta characters are getting. I feel that they didn't really need to do this, so I'm hoping that they at least making it reasonable.
I agree, and again, I'm always looking for silver linings, trying to look at the positive. This last part is a positive to me, that they are continuing to monitor all these events, see how the community's reacting, and make adjustments on the fly. One big takeaway that I got from that Envoy call, that they don't have any definitive timelines or dates, and they don't have it here because they want to be flexible with things and want to be able to structure events like that. So we'll see. I mean, I think if they see things going too bad, they will structure events differently. I mean, it's already bad right now, so hopefully they can come back from all this stuff. Let me ask another question though about this, related to this, about these battle passes and strike passes. Are they now devalued with the way that these characters are now going to be released through a few different cadences?
I think they are devalued, especially for people that don't purchase those characters, because otherwise they're going to have such a high influx of golden training mats.
Yeah.
That if they have to wait this long, they can kind of really stock up. Like myself, I'm at 136 million gold. I have nothing really to spend gold on. As soon as a new character comes out, I'll take them up to 100, and then I do like a little bit of gold. So this is going to be even more stockpile that these players can get that do purchase this. So I definitely feel it's been devalued. Ares, I think, is still going to be worth it if you're looking between the two of them. The other one having dark promo credits, that's really kind of a pick your poison, I guess. I think when they start adding more crimson gear and eventually that purple ISO in there, that's when it's going to really start shooting up again.
The purple, usually it's the next Dark Dimension that I start buying these, and I've done Dark Dimension 7. There's nothing for Dark Dimension 8 in here. Not going to buy these. Now, with this, if you look, this is probably the most important thing for Ares, the passive awaken ability. You get this for free. It's in the free path. We've had 4 already. There's going to be a 5th one coming up after this one ends in 11 days. That will have 100. It should have 100 here. Maybe at the end, though. But it should have 100 in that one. That's at least what the blog post said. So, I mean, Ares, is he really worth it without this awaken passive? Because, I mean, really what you want to do is stop Safeguard. And in war, he does a lot of good stuff. Is this worth this purchase, knowing that you're going to get this awaken ability for free, and that he's not really valuable without it? So should players be pushing for this right now?
He's definitely a staying passive. When we were doing that Envoy tournament, I really got to test him out to where in Cosmic Crucible, having him be that stand-in over Apocalypse, so I can use Apocalypse elsewhere, he has a lot of value with that staying passive.
Yes, when it's awakened. So I don't know. We'll see. The other characters. I mean, is there enough character shards in here to make it worth it for you? Especially if there's that slow drip and no real release event. Is there enough in this free-to-play path to kind of compensate players for the lack of shards that they're getting on that front end? In your opinion, obviously.
So it really varies. I know they upped the amount of crimson on the paid track that you can get. Putting Hank Pym in there is fantastic. I just got him to the 7 red, and with the showcases that we had, that's a 3 diamond Hank Pym now. Nice. So I really like that they still are putting some newer characters in there. It's just we need to know like when Annihilators start going in there. I think there was something in the data mine for that, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, we'll cover the data mines a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, Valley Club. Is this, now that we've changed the character, release cadence, are these battle pass and strike passes still worth it for you? we have another announcement this week, and I think we've had a kind of the past few weeks, Knull Battle Pass boss. When they announced this world or this environment that you're gonna play the boss for Battleworld in, I mean, looking at this right here, that circular design that he puts on people's heads, a mark of the symbiote. Most people thought it was Knull. It is official now. What was your thoughts when you first heard Knull boss Battleworld?
It's about time. I love Knull. He is such an awesome character. So I was really excited.
Were you also disappointed that, oh, he's a boss? That means I'm not going to be able to play with him until maybe after this is done or the next season and they make him a playable character. Did that disappoint you, or were you just happy that he's in the game?
I was just happy he was in the game, and as somebody I get to fight, and having him as the Battleworld boss sounds really cool. Based on other games, I know they usually will do like big bosses, like beat this character X number of times, and then later on in the future you can actually play him. So as long as we don't have to wait too long and they make it to where we can actually get him, I'm all for this, because that scene is beautiful. That looks amazing.
Now, we don't know, obviously, so I want your prediction. How long do you think these seasons of Battleworld will last? Do you think it'll be 6 months, 3 months, short, like a month, like Crucible seasons or something like War seasons? How long do you think these Battleworld seasons are going to last before Knull is out, and then maybe have that potential to come as a playable character in the game? Maybe he's never going to be playable, but at least have that potential. When do you think that is going to happen?
So I know it wouldn't be like Cosmic Crucible, because that's going to be too short, and I don't know if they have the bandwidth to keep updating it that fast. I'm thinking maybe like a War season, or maybe a little bit longer would be my guess. So probably about 3 or 4 months, I'm hoping.
3 or 4 months.
But that's what I'd hope. If it's 6 months, I don't know, because we don't know what the gameplay and what the Battleworld's going to be like. So I don't know if it would get stale if it hits that 6 month mark, because I know Raids itself kind of gets there after several months. So I'm hoping about 3 to 4 would be the sweet spot.
So they seem to be replacing Raids a lot sooner, right? We got Incursion pretty quickly. You think they're going to replacing Battleworld because it is kind of PvE content as often as replacing Raids as well? What is that? I don't, like six months to a year? Is that how often they're doing those?
The Raids, I think, is about like 9 months.
Okay.
I think it's like 9 months a year, yeah.
We don't know. Let me know what you guys would like the best in the comments, Valley Club, as we move on to the big topic of the week, or the sort of big topic. We had a lot of them this week. But Dark Dimension 8, my goodness. Odin coming out. September 16th, next Monday, is Dark Dimension 8. I know a lot of people aren't even done with Dark Dimension 7, so what do you think of the timing of this? Were you expecting this later, sooner? I know there's a lot of people already, a lot of Krakens that have their full teams. They've had them ready for a while. So what do you think of the timing of September 16th, Dark Dimension 8?
I'm kind of all for this because it's a different progression path. So you don't have to have that Crimson Gear. It's just kind of recommended is what they're getting at. So having it to where the people that are finished with Dark Dimension 7 and those that aren't done with Dark Dimension 7, they can kind of work on both paths at the same time and get 2 powerful characters. I'm all for this, having it to where it's 2 different paths that you can take.
Yeah, kind of like when they did the Age of Apocalypse, you had it was based on ISO 8 Blue level 5, whereas Dark Dimension 5 at the time was based on your gear. And so it's like, do I get Dormammu or Apocalypse? Oh, just get both. Or do I get Skrull or Apocalypse? Get both. Get both. So get both. Now, they do specifically mention Skrull, Mephisto not required, but is probably recommended. Do you think players without Skrull and Mephisto will be able to get through Dark Dimension 8? Like, is it possible to get Odin unlocked before you get Mephisto and Skrull?
I think it would be possible, but you're gonna bang your head against the wall. I had an alliance mate that didn't take Apocalypse or any of those big characters. They were doing it by traits for Dark Dimension 7. It took him like 35 hits to beat like 1 node in that non-restricted section, so it's doable. But you're gonna hate yourself.
Whereas most people are taking 3 to 5 days for that node with the correct characters, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez. All right, now we got the traits announced, and I'm not sure. We were told that this was the correct thing on the Envoy chat. However, when we go into game, it says something a little different. It still says city villains first. That was originally what was on the Dark Dimension planet. Then city heroes, global villains. Cosmic Legendary. We were told this is the order, though. Do you think that that's right, or the in-game mail is right, or we go to the Dark Dimension Planner? Originally, this said villains here. This got switched, though, so it looks like it is matching the blog post. What happened with this? Do you think this was the original plans and it got switched, and now this is the plans? Because they never really said what the order was until now, and it still doesn't say here. They just kind of announced it in the Envoy chat.
Right, so I think what happened was they initially wanted that city villain first, but if you, I think, scroll up a little bit, it talks about the first few sections being really easy. So I think that's why they switched it, because the Spider Society team, that's what most people's going to use for that city hero team. So that's going to make it very easy. And then it's going to make it to where the city villain's going to be much more difficult.
That makes sense. Now, I got a little bit of conspiracy theory that I do want to run by you. City heroes. We see Blade mentioned in this thing, right? Blade, you're gonna get some stars for Blade if you are on the ranking rewards. Blade, do you think he's gonna be a city hero or a city villain? Because if you're like myself, you've already upgraded your Spider Society. There's like, damn it, Blade's probably better in this node. Do you think Blade's gonna be a city hero or city villain? Hero makes more sense. Maybe global hero? Where do you think Blade's gonna fall?
I think he's gonna be a city hero. And I actually I think I'm about done with my city hero. I just need like 39,000 of the purple ISO, and then my city hero is done. So even though like when Blade comes out, I'm taking him all the way up to G19 right away. And as far as like the ISO, I'll just take him on the second run. I don't want to waste any of my resources, and considering they said that you're going to get that purple ISO in the nodes, I don't want to backtrack like any more than I need to.
Gotcha. That makes sense. That's kind of what I did with the characters that were better for the other Dark Dimensions. You know, I was like, oh, this character is better, but I'm already done with this character. So unfortunately, he might be on the next few runs. Yeah, the Night Stalker's probably going to be city teams, right? Are you feeling city or global for those teams?
I think they're going to be city, because if we look at...
you're wrong. I hope you're wrong.
Yeah. Because Karen Page, she should be city. Moon Knight, we voted on him. He's city.
Hero, yeah.
So I think they're going to lean more on the city side of things.
Is Man-Thing city, though, or he has to be global? He has to be global, though.
He has to be global. He has to be global. So it might be a mix.
Let's talk about the planner. Let's talk about the planner, because I've already done this. This may not be the best choice once we actually get the Night Stalkers in the game. City villains, I'm a little confused on this. I don't think Superior 6, Sinister 6, Hive Mind is worth it enough, but when I look at the other city villains, not a lot of great choices.
Yeah.
Where's your head leaning right now for city villains? Are you kind of wait and see? Maybe we'll get some villains and then Night Stalkers team. Or if we have to go with these, what would you lean into? Something like this or something a little different?
Right, so we have pretty much the same, but instead of Red Goblin, I'm taking Mysterio for that controller, just because my protector count was a little bit higher. For City Hero,
hold on. One thing I do want to mention here. Now, if you look at this, Mysterio, very expensive in terms of gear, but the gear is not required for Dark Dimension 8. Again, it's based on your ISO 8 purple level 3. So even though he's expensive in terms of gear, and all the gears listed here, you don't need that gear equipped for them. It is recommended, but not listed. So sorry, continue, brother.
Right, yeah. So I put Mysterio in there for the city hero instead of Ghost Spider, because I was torn on Ghost Spider or Spider-Man Noir. I went with Spider-Man Noir more for use, and I could make up the extra blaster. I put Robbie in there, and he's one I'm just finishing up right now. To get the last bit on him.
Noir. You took out Noir, you said, and put in Robbie.
I took out Ghost Spider. I took out Ghost Spider.
And put in Robbie. Okay. Shoot,
yeah, just because Noir has a lot more use.
Ghost Spider. I wish I didn't start her because you saved that spot for Blade.
Exactly, and I debate about waiting for Blade, but considering we still have the Nimrod to come out, we have Omega Sentinel to come out. I kind of want to get my city hero done, just because he said there's going to be purple ISO as node rewards.
That makes sense. That makes sense. All right, next section. This one's challenging as well. A few different teams you could lean into. Extreme X-Men, Illuminati, Alpha Flight, go old school with the Out of Time. What are you thinking for Global Hero? I'm still not decided at all with what I want to do with this.
So I did the Black Knight, Illuminati, and Nightcrawler. So I do have Captain Britain, so I'm taking him in.
Similar.
If you don't have Captain
Sasquatch,
right? If you don't have that, I was really looking at Gambit or Nightcrawler just because of use for Cosmic Crucible and everything, and I love Gambit. He's one of my favorite characters, so that was more of like a fan favorite pick. But you kind of really need to.
Extreme's not that bad because they still have those bonuses for the Orchis raids, so they're at least going to be used until the Orchis goes away.
Yeah, and that stage 4 in Cosmic Crucible right now with Extreme is just deadly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Gambit is a good pick. Villains. Now, Orchis is probably going to be more effective in this, in the Dark Dimension 8. Cabal's pretty effective in Cosmic Crucible. Are you leaning more towards the raids with Orchis or more towards Crucible with Cabal for this section? Obviously, for Dark Dimension, Orchis is probably going to be better, but what are you thinking for after the Dark Dimension is done?
So I really liked Cabal here. Obviously going to take Apocalypse, but I like how Cabal had those different traits. So you have like that support, you have the Blaster and the Brawler. So it really mixed it up for me. As far as the last pick on there, I'm a little bit torn. I'm looking at maybe Dakin because he's a controller and just kind of looking at the traits that I have. But I'm leaning more towards Dakin right now.
And is your picks based on like one of each trait for each section? So Protector, Blast, you know, all those kind of stuff for each section? Is that how you're choosing your characters?
So I used pretty much all of those orbs that we get for the polls. And I just kind of like went, okay, so Black Knight, he's a protector. I want to get him done. So I would pull on those. And then I would scroll down to where it has the all of the ISOs that you need at the bottom of the planner. And I just kind of try to get that as balanced as possible.
Makes sense. Makes sense. All right, and then this is what I'm doing. They're already done.
Yep, mine are done.
I want my arena team. This is my arena team here. So, not Old Man Logan. Old Man Logan I did before the Annihilators game.
Yeah.
Or I started working on before the Annihilators, but yeah, this is pretty much done. So that's what I'm working on. Let me know what you guys are working on for Dark Dimension as we go back to the planner and talk about this new thing, these Ravens here. We're gonna get this event for Blade, which we'll discuss more Blade. But as far as these Raven, it is for this milestone here. 3 to 7 stars for Odin. So you do get 4 red stars in the event if you get that. I guess you're gonna get it at your time run. I guess that's good if you just are able to do your first run during the lifespan of this milestone. Fully crafted gear, 19 pieces, more purple gear, crimson gear, ciphers, and points for the Sentinel event. What did you think of this? This was a little confusing for me because this is like a character release event. Most people aren't going to be able to get these milestones and get these Ravens and do a lot of these nodes. What do you think of this inclusion of the Sentinel evolution or Path to Orchis event? Yeah,
I don't get it. I really don't get it. So we're in phase 1 for Sentinel right now, and this comes out on Monday. So that means that we're about to get the Nimrod purchase today that we're recording. So this is like maybe 10 days. So we're definitely in phase 1. So is this part of the release method for Sentinel? They expect these people to get the Sentinel release method that way?
Jeez.
Because the people that's going to be pushing Dark Dimension are going to be these high spending Krakens or giant whales, if you will. They already have Sentinel probably at 6 or 7 stars already. So who's this for? I don't get it.
I don't know. It's for your Ultimus orbs, brother.
Apparently they won the Ultimus food, yeah.
Yeah, it's for the Ultimus food. All right. So one of the big announcements here, one of the worst kept secrets, as soon as they announced the Halloween team, I'm like, oh, they got Blade's gonna be in this team. And yes, Blade is on this team. Now, I thought he was gonna be a legendary character. Did you think that he was gonna be a legendary character as soon as you saw some of the rumors about Blade happening like a year ago?
I wasn't thinking legendary once they said the Age of X, because they're trying to really lean into this is the story for Professor X.
Okay, makes sense.
Blade doesn't have anything to do with him. Then again, Odin really doesn't either. But he's a Dark Dimension.
The Shield characters don't really have anything to do with.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't remember what is that? Nick? No, the Kree with Nick Fury. I got him confused. But yeah, there's no rhyme or reason for unlocks in this game. There's just too much logic.
Yeah, so I definitely was using too much logic on it, but I didn't think he was going to be legendary, just because we've only had the one other, which is Old Man Logan. That really tied into the story. I was worried they were going to do another like Captain Britain epic type character. That's what I was worried about.
Well, the good news is he's also not just not legendary, not dark promo character, which means he's not going to be an epic character, which means people are going to have access to him. And we did get approval to announce a few things about his kit. It was shared that he's going to be useful for Dark Dimension. His ultimate is going to have a 20% health steal on the primary target. And his basic, I'm not sure how this works. What Matt Sheets wrote, his basic reduces speed bar by 10%, hits twice. I'm not sure if it's 10% each hit or 10% total, so 5% each hit. What do you think of what we know about his kit so far, and how disappointed are you that he might be a city hero?
City hero, I wish that the city hero section was later, that way I could plan to get him on my team.
Yeah.
As far as the kit, it sounds pretty cool. I don't know if that 20% steal is only in Dark Dimension, or if it's going to be like a Vol where it gets more powerful if you put him in Dark Dimension. The 10% rewind, I read that as each hit, so I'm looking at a striker hit for
as well,
30.
But just in case it doesn't work like that, it wasn't very clear in the messaging.
Yeah, but it sounds like they want him to be like on the level of, say, Nightcrawler, to where he's going to have a lot of use. They really want him to live up to the hype.
Hearing, some information about his ultimate as basic, does that give you kind of some hope, or give you some insight as what he could potentially be for Crucible and War? Because we know the Night Stalkers are going to be a good raid team. They're going to be good in the raids. They're going to probably be able to sim the raids pretty easily at low stars. But where do you think they're going to fall for War and Crucible? Do you have any insight based on what you see, the minimal information that we have right now?
If he has that turn rewind, I hope he has the speed of, say, like Black Cat, to where, because her basic does the rewind as well. So if you can kind of get ahead of the other team and get control right off the bat, I think that gives them a lot of playability, which is what they're looking for. So I really want to know the speed stat of him and what team we're getting.
Yeah, that would be really good information on his kit. I want to know as much. I guess we don't know too much about him that we could get some insights, but I'm looking forward to this character. I'm excited that he was announced. Let's move back from Dark Dimension 8. Let's go backwards a little to Dark Dimension 7. This was a screenshot from this morning, about 10:15 this morning, Central Time, US. Viper 4630 was one that passed, and I guess a few people beat it after that. But yeah, or no, he's the one to beat. These guys are 92%. But yeah, this morning about 10:15. So that is how many are through Dark Dimension, or about how many through Dark Dimension this now. So is it proper? Do you think it's too soon for Dark Dimension 8 to be released next Monday? What is the target? I thought it was like 1,000, then it would start to release a lot more Crimson gear. Is 5,000 what they're looking for, and predicting like 5,000 before Dark Dimension 8 comes around? Because that seems a lot lower than we've had as a threshold before they released the Dark Dimensions. What do you think of this, the timing of this?
It looks like they are pushing for that 5,000 mark, because I know a couple of people in my alliance, they're about to hit that Mythic section, and some of them are about to finish that second run. So I think as far as like more of an endgame alliance goes, it looks like they're aiming for that 5,000 mark, which doesn't sound bad, because once we hit that 5,000, people's going to start flooding more in based on history and everything. So I think they kind of got the number right for that, especially the fact that, again, we don't need the G19 gear on it. It's just recommended. So yeah. I think they're doing pretty good as far as that goes.
Okay, cool. So we'll see how many actually get to get the Mephisto before Odin events is released. But the Orchis team looks to be pretty important, obviously, for the new raids. But now with their reworks, it looked like they're gonna have some value in War and Cosmic Crucible. What did you make of these reworks? Sentinel got a little better. We got some upgrades to Nimrod, some upgrades to Omega Sentinel. How much of a difference is this going to make for this Orchis team in War and Crucible? Are they now a team that you should probably build for those game modes?
So it looks like they have a lot of offensive capabilities. On defense, there's still going to be a little bit of a liability because of the minions that come in with Sentinel on spawn. so teams like New Warriors and Hive Mind can get ahead of them and start kind of getting the ramp up due to that. Yeah. But as an offensive team, they look like they got a pretty nice buff.
What kind of teams are you predicting that this would be able to take out in either Cosmic Crucible or War? War, these they will have some value because there's still some non-meta teams that people place on defense. But what about Crucible? Because there's only 6 teams there. All of them are pretty strong. Do you think that these guys at low star levels will have some value at Crucible right away?
So as far as Crucible goes, I think they can maybe take out some high B tier teams. So like Black Order, I did that in the tournament, Infinity Watch. But as far as like high-end teams, I don't think they'd work on that. I know that there's some plug-and-play capability with Lady Deathstrike and Scientist Supreme.
I used both of them this week as plug-and-play characters. Yeah, not Sentinel yet, but I used the other 2.
Yeah, and Nimrod, he's a little bit slower because I wouldn't throw Sentinel on offense for Cosmic Crucible right now. But the fact that Sentinel or Nimrod, he got, I believe, the trauma on his special now, or ability block for 2 turns to the primary right there.
Instead of 1 turn, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that's really good. I think the ultimate does the trauma. I think, yeah. Apply trauma for 2 turns.
Allies, yeah, 2 turns with the trauma for the ultimate.
Right, and the fact that Sentinel robots count as Orchis allies, you can really do some theory craft in there. So I think that you can finagle it a little bit. As far as War goes, once you can get Ares passive awakened, throw an Ares in there and then use a 4-piece that can be devastating because you're taking all the buffs away. Scientist Supreme ults turn 1, you flood them with negative effects, and then you just get ahead of them. I can see that being a pretty bad weapon on offense.
I like it. All right, so people that want to cheap out and not buy this team, you want to be competitive in Crucible War, maybe do that, or do you still hold off because of the new character release Cadence?
I would hold off. I think as far as raid goes, they're going to do just fine at the 3-3. Okay. Especially with the stat bump that they got because they have that new meta stats.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't sweat it. Save your power cores for Blade is what I would say.
All right. Well, Nimrod is being released today. I know some people are going to use some power cores for this character because the raids, the tech section is a little more important than the mystic section for the raids. Now, as far as his orb, we're probably going to get an orb for him. We had a minimum drop rate of 1 for Sentinel. We didn't have that for our Annihilators. We didn't have that for Illuminati. 1 for Nimrod as well. Are they upping that to 2? Or are they bringing it back down? What is your predictions? It'll probably be live before this video goes up. So what is your predictions right now before it's even live?
I hope that they stick to the 1 based on the feedback that they've been hearing from everybody about the Annihilators, where there's no guarantee chance. Okay. So I'm hoping for 1, which is pretty sad that we're hoping for 1 shard.
All right, well, 1 is better than 0, so it's not totally the worst thing that could happen. All right, let me know your thoughts there, guys. Hopefully we got a good event, and hopefully we get a lot of jackpots for this. Let's talk about the new month-long milestone event, Autumn Revolution. This is kind of the release event for Gore. Is this Gore's phase 2 event? He's got some character shards in here.
I think so. That's ugly. I think that would count as the phase 2.
That's horrible. That's horrible. I don't like that. What do you think of these other rewards? A lot of teal gear here. They haven't shifted to crimson. Do they need to get to that 5,000 mark and then we'll get some crimson in this, or is this still going to be teal for a little while?
I think they're getting ready to start doing the crimson because they're opening up on the passes. So after this event, it wouldn't surprise me if we start seeing like a little bit of crimson. That's my prediction.
That would surprise me if we don't see that.
Yeah.
All right, now again, we have 3 main milestone events in this. We've had that in the past. Sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it goes to 5. What do you think of these shorter month-long milestone events? So 3 weeks instead of like a full month.
I think they were doing that maybe to do like a reset on the calendar in that event, because they slowly kept pushing Halloween. It out to where, right? Because that way they can have a full October calendar. I think they were just trying to do like a reset on the month-long milestone.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I think I prefer these smaller ones more because we get to the jackpot a lot sooner rather than waiting for 4 weeks. So I think this is better, but I agree. I think that is why they did that. They get a reset for November or for October, right around Halloween. Night Stalkers, our usual Undying member. Let me know who you think the Undying member is going to be in the comments down below. As we move forward with these the week-long milestone, Sentinel Assemble. This one is a interesting event based on a lot of campaign energy spending. How much are you pushing on this? Actually, that's a different event. Sentinels Assemble, not Sentinel Siege. Some rewards here, some diamonds for Sentinel. I was actually opening my diamond orbs and I got a diamond for Sentinel. So I'm just pushing for this purple gear from Crucible last night. So pretty good rewards here. What do you think of these rewards? What do you think of the pushing for this? And what do you think of the blitzing and our scoring method this week?
So for the blitz, I'm glad it's just basically do two. Yeah, it's 2 to get the max for the blitz and 1 to get the points for it, which is great. The Iron Legion orb fragments are fantastic. Those things are amazing for the rewards.
I like them. No character shards, but pretty good rewards here. Let's go over each of the pillars here. Left pillar, get some T4s, got some gold. Center pillar, got some crimson gear or teal gear, so pretty good. And those look like a lot of uniques. And then the right pillar, everybody needs dark diamonds, dark promos. So I like this orb. How do you think this compares to the other orbs in your opinion? Like this better? Would you have preferred some character shards as well, or these resources are so good that it doesn't matter?
So to me, that center pillar, how it's a 50-50 shot at getting like a crimson unique is the more appealing part of that orb for me. But I don't know if it's because I've been conditioned that I've been opening up so many Annihilator orbs that this just looks that much better.
Maybe that's why this orb looks good, because we've been opening so many Illuminati and Annihilator orbs that it's just trash. Like, oh, this is pretty good.
Yeah, but as far as the event goes, I usually try to push to the top 2500 because of the purple ISO. So my goal right now is to hit that top 2500, and that will get me about 3 more characters that I can get done for Dark Dimension 8.
Okay, and are you trying to do that with spending, or are you just spending power cores on campaign energy to push for that high ranking?
Usually just the campaign energy refreshes on these type of events.
All right, well, I was pushing my hunters. I'm nowhere near there, so I'm doing something wrong there. Maybe I need to hoard beforehand or something, because I didn't do that.
The pop-up offer that we got yesterday, did that go into the Sentinel Assemble? I think it did.
Okay.
Because I did get that $10 for the Thanos orbs, and I got 6 Thanos on 25 orbs. That felt terrible.
Gotcha. $10 for 6 shards. Awesome, bro.
Great value.
All right, so I gotta up my ranking on this a little bit, but it's based on arena wins. So the higher you do in arena, the more points for the web, the more points for this you get. It all leads into that. We have that Sentinel orb and progress as well. And coming back to this, you know, the weird thing is we got this event, these ciphers that you can get more progress for this. This is kind of the release event that you can get some crimson gear. But yeah, the decision to put this in Dark Dimension as far as the rewards here is weird. And going forward, do you think that the Sentinel having the minimum 1 drop in that orb, I know you think, you know, it probably should be like that for Nimrod. Do you think that it's just something with Orchis? Do you think that having no drop rate for Annihilators was that because their arena team and Illuminati had that Captain Britain release, so the drop rate, they did that on purpose? What do you think is going to be forward with these teams coming up? Minimum drop rate, no drop rate. What do you think the Scopely is going to do with this?
I think they were just doing the whole experimenting thing that they mentioned in the blog. So they experimented with aiming more at the jackpot and people using power cores for the Annihilators because it's an arena team. It's a legendary unlock team. And then they decided, well, let's at least make it to where it's the single shard drop for Sentinel. I'm hoping they continue that trend to where we get some guaranteed drops.
Doesn't feel that bad. Doesn't feel as bad, Scopely. Do it.
Yeah, and the milestones, I don't know if that's like their pity method to say, hey, you open an orb, take some shards. I think they need a different approach if they're going with like a pity system.
Yeah, I think that's just that's reward for being active. I think the milestones, the pity system, I think they do need to implement that. as well. But you could kind of take it as a mini pay pity system.
Yeah, I think that's what they were aiming for in that.
Yeah, Scopely, that didn't fit the mark. That didn't hit the mark. So do another pity system, please. All right, let's talk about some data mines. And yeah, at least according to the data mines, next strike pass should be Gladiator, as you mentioned there. So Annihilators look like they're going first. We've already had a release event for Gladiator. What do you think of his inclusion in this pass?
That's amazing.
Timing wise, good. A little too early. Would you have liked what would they have before Gladiator? I guess we did have some Illuminati there already, right?
Yeah, we had a Shuri already. We had a Hank Pym
in there right now. So I guess this is the proper timing for that.
So it sounds like, based on that, because Illuminati and Annihilators are legendary unlocks. So we have Gladiator for this upcoming pass. Then it hopefully goes to Gore, then Thanos, then the legendary event would be my guess. So maybe a month and a half away.
Let's do it. Yeah. All right. That timing sounds right. We got something else here that hasn't been mentioned yet. Orchis Overload. Looks like you battle in the raids and campaign. You get Sentinel Evolution, or more of them, Nimrod Charge, Ciphers. Is this going to be a free-to-play event? Is this going to be a grindy event? Is this minimal points from raids and campaign and most of the points scored from spending? What do you think this is going to be? Obviously, this is data mines. It may never come to the game, but what do you think this is going to be based on what you see here?
So it sounds like for whatever team that is coming out, they're trying to push more activity into that, because all of the Annihilator stuff was battle in arena. So it looks like all of these are going to be battle in raids, which I'm actually all for. I know cool.
I think that's kind of cool mechanic, like to match it up like that.
Yeah, it actually kind of increases the engagement. I know for the Sentinel, there was that issue with the just do the one run with Sentinel, then you got max points for the Alliance. I'm hoping that stays in play for Nimrod. That would be cool.
They have to keep that in play. That was a bug that I did not report because I hope everybody took part in that. So yeah, if you did one node with Sentinel, you got all the max points for the Milestone right now. If you look at the points for that, we are maxed out, and that was maxed out on day one. It was for this event. If you look at this, battle and raids with Nimrod, well, that with Sentinel, that was maxed out right on day one. So yeah, make sure if someone in your alliance hasn't already battled with Sentinel, they have them unlocked. Don't waste those points because it's kind of free points.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Next in the data mines, looks like it's about Fall of Mutants, the event that is coming up next week. We need to collect Sentinel scraps from this. ISO 8 campaign nodes, free claims, special offers, complete the S-Day web milestone, and it looks like you got to spend Sentinel cores for the extra Sentinel. We spend Sentinel cores to be rewarded extra Sentinel cores and bonus progress in the autumn event for the S-Day milestone. It looks like we have a few different orbs here. So it looks like we're gonna get some kind of currency from the campaign nodes. At least that's how I'm reading it here. And then we're gonna have to spend that in a store. And when we spend stuff in a store, we're gonna get progress for the milestone. We're getting more currency. Very, very convoluted. What do you think of these events? Just as confusing this week, more confusing than this week, less confusing than this week.
I don't think anything could be more confusing than what we have going on right now. If we get another event store, and if it's like the current one with the radioactive treats, I'm all for it. That store was amazing.
Yeah, I like that. I like that they extended that as well. That was a great thing. So
yeah,
this is what the data mines say, guys. You can make of it as you wish. That's what I think is coming up this week. And that is it for the week. Lots of stuff coming up. Any other final thoughts, Brother Dacier?
Nah, just enjoy the game for what it is. Have fun, and remember, it's just a game.
Yeah, that's kind of how I view it. It's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be stressful. Sometimes I get stressed because I also have to make content on the game itself. But as far as a player, I just try to have fun with it, and that's what kind of keeps me in a positive attitude. No matter how bad a decision Scopely's make or good, I just try to have fun with everything, and I hope you guys can do the same. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did enjoy this video, leave it a like. It is free for you. Helps out their YouTube algorithm, helps out the channel. Make sure you also go to Dacier's channel. The links are going to be down below. Give them a like, give them a subscribe, everything. And if you want to see what are the best teams in Marvel Strike Force right now, rated from best to worst, check out the video up there, and I'll see you guys next time. Are you ready for our first ever fist bump, Brother Dacier?
Hopefully the first of many.
All right, here he goes. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin, Dacier out. Have a great rest of your day, guys.